Hello students, welcome back. This is the video of class 10th biology, and as you know we are studying chapter 2. So in this chapter we have to study about the control and coordination in plants as well as in the animals. So in the previous videos we talked about the control and coordination in the plants. Here in this particular video we are going to discuss about the control and coordination in humans. So you know that your body has a control and coordination system. That system control all the activities of your body, and via that system all the organs and cells coordinate together to perform a particular function and to make your body survive. So let's see what is there in this particular topic given in your syllabus. In animals, including humans, control and coordination takes place by two very specialized systems named as nervous and endocrine system. So there are two very important systems present in animals body that control and coordinate all the activities of our body. Nervous system control the activities of the body by sending nerve impulses. If you talk about the nervous system, then in the system the control and coordination takes place with the help of the electrical impulses, while in endocrine system there is the involvement of a chemical named as hormones, which regulate the activities of various cells, and hence it coordinate all the cells together for performing a particular function. In this chapter we have to study about both the system, that is nervous system as well as the endocrine system. But here in this video we are going to discuss about the nervous system first. So let's talk about the nervous system first. Nervous system includes brain, spinal cord and nerves. These are the three parts which are included in the nervous system that control and coordinate all the activities of your body. So here this is the system which is responsible to know about your external and internal environment, and according to that it causes changes in your body. Hence it makes your body in the state of homeostasis. The nerves which are present in the nervous system, they are made up of very highly specialized cells which are called neurons. These neurons are responsible to perceive the stimuli from your external and internal environment, and they send it to your spinal cord, and then from there these information and impulses go into your brain. Then the brain processes and analyze that information, and according to that it gives the command to the particular organ for the specific behavior according to the stimulus. So the nervous system is a system which tells your body about the external and internal environment, and according to that, it also gives the command and instruction to your body and the different body parts for having a specific and particular change. So how do your body know the changes occurring outside or inside your body? The answer is the presence of receptors. Receptors are the group of specialized cells, and these cells are very specialized to detect a change in the environment and stimulate the electrical impulses in response. These receptors are found in the sense organs that we have. So whatever the sense organs that we have in our body, these sense organs have a special kind of receptors. That receptors are the specialized cells which perceive and receive the changes, the stimulus, and make your body know about the change. And you know very well that there are 5 major sense organs in the human body. What are these 5 sense organs? These are your eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. Your eyes sense the sight, and your nose smells, and your ears hear the sound, and your tongue tastes, and your skin perceive the touch and different kind of other senses. So these sense organs have a special kind of receptors. That receptors can be able to receive the different stimulus like sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. The receptors present in our sense organs, they perceive the stimulus, and then that stimulus changes into the electrical impulse, and that electrical impulse goes to the spinal cord via nerve, and then it goes into the brain. Then the brain analyzes that stimulus, and according to the analysis and different kind of processing, then that brain gives the command to the different organ which work upon the command of the brain. The nerve which bring the stimulus from receptor to the brain, they are the afferent nerves, and the nerves which bring the command from the brain to the effector organs, they are called efferent nerves. So receptors are the specialized cells which perceive the stimulus and send it to the brain via nerve, and effectors are those organs which work upon the command of the brain according to the stimulus. Now, as you know, we have 5 senses, and these senses are because of the presence of 5 sensory organs like eyes, ears, skin, nose, and tongue. So these 5 sensory organs have different receptors, highly specialized cells which receive the stimulus. Like the eyes have photoreceptors. The receptors which are present in the eyes, they are called photoreceptors. These photoreceptors receive the stimulus of light and take it to the and convert it into the electrical impulse, and that electrical impulse via nerve goes to the brain. The ears have a very specialized receptors called phonoreceptors. These phonoreceptors are present in our internal ear and they receive the stimulus of sound. Now, our skin has different kind of receptors that are called tango receptors. As you know, our skin can receive the stimulus of touch, heat, cold, pain, etc. So these tango receptors receive the stimulus of touch, heat, cold and pain and convert it into the electrical impulses, and then that impulses go into the brain via nerve, and that information that reach into our brain, that are analyzed and processed, and according to that processing and analysis, the brain gives the command to the various organs. Now, our nose have the special kind of receptors called olfactory receptors. These olfactory receptors are specialized to receive the stimulus of smell. Our tongue has receptors that are called gustatory receptors. Gustatory receptors are specialized cells found on the surface of our tongue that receive the stimulus of taste, by which we can taste the different kind of food items. So different sense organs have different kind of specialized receptors which receive the stimulus from the environment and convert that stimulus into the electric impulses. Now we will talk about the effector. Effector are the parts of the body such as muscles and glands that produce a response to a detected stimulus. When the receptors receive the stimulus, then that stimulus get converted into electrical impulses. Then that impulses go into the brain. Our brain gives the command to the different part of the body, and that parts of our body responds according to the commands of brain. That part of the body which work on the command of the brain, that part of the body are called effector. For example, a muscle contracting to move on an arm. Suppose any kind of insect set on your skin, then because of that touch of the body of that insect on your skin, the receptor will receive the stimulus of touch because of the setting of the insect on your skin, on your any body part. Then that stimulus of touch will be carried towards the brain with the help of nerves, and then the brain will analyze that this insect is not good for setting on your body. Then what will happen, your brain give the command to you, the muscles of your hands, so that you can jerk your hand to remove that insect. So on the command of your brain, the muscles of your hand will contract and respond. Second example is muscles squeezing saliva from the salivary gland. Once you take up any food in your mouth, then your salivary gland squeeze the saliva. This is because the command given by your brain to the muscles of your salivary gland, then the saliva is secreted. A gland releasing a hormone into the blood, that is also because of the command given by the brain. So these are the effectors. These are the parts of the body which follow the command of your brain. Now we will talk about the unit of nervous system. all of your nervous system is made up of very highly specialized cells which are called neuron or nerve cells. These nerve cells or neurons are the structural and functional units of your nervous system. Means whatever the function that is done by your nervous system, that actually is carried out by these cells called as neuron. Now we will talk about the structure of neuron. So this is a very basic and common structure of a neuron. A neuron has three main parts. The first one is cell body. The main part of the cell, that is called cell body, which includes nucleus and other cell organelles. The second part, the branches arise from the cytosol or cell body, that is called dendrite, and a very long branch arise from the cell body, it is called axon. So there are three main parts present in a particular very common basic type of neuron, that is cell body, dendrite and axon. So you can see this cell is not a kind of regular common cell, it is highly specialized, and you can see this is elongated wire like cell. Just like in your home the wire are present, that wires conduct the electrical impulses that conduct the electricity in your home. Likewise, these cells are elongated just like the wire, and they carry the electrical impulses throughout your body from your receptors to the brain and from brain to the effector organs. So we can say that neuron is a highly specialized cell which conducts electrical impulses. It consists of three main parts: cell body or cyton or soma. Cell body is also called as cyton or soma. Second is dendrite and third is axon. So we will see the detailed structure of the neuron here. In this diagram you can see that this is the main part of the cell, that is called cell body, which consists of nucleus and other cell organelles. It also consists the granules which are called Nissl granules. Nissl granules are the granules made up of RNA and responsible for the protein synthesis. So the main central body is called cyton or cell body, and from that cell body there are several branches, fiber like branches are arisen from there. That fibers are called dendrites, and from the cell body there is a branch which is longer than the other. That branch is called as axon. If you see the axon, that axon is covered with a covering with a layer that is called myelin sheath, and that myelin sheath is not regular, it has the constriction in between. That constriction are called as node of Ranvier, and because of the presence of node of Ranvier, the myelin sheath is in the form of units. That units are called as Schwann cell. You can see at the end of the axon there is several branching. That branching of the end of the axon is called axon terminal. The end of the axon terminals are having a knob like structure that is called synaptic knob. In your body there are millions of neurons present there, and these neurons are connected end to end. Like you can see in this diagram, this neuron is connected with the another neuron, and always the axon ending of one neuron is connected with the dendrite of the other neuron. Okay, and the place where the two neurons meet together, that place is called synapses. So the axon ending of one neuron is always connected with the dendrites of another neuron, and that meeting point of the two neurons are called synapses, which is having a gap, a very minute gap, that is called synaptic cleft. So first of all, the dendrites receive the stimulus in the form of electrical impulse. Then that impulse goes into the cyton, means in the cell body. Then after it goes into the axon, and from the axon ending it goes to the dendrites of another neuron. Then further it proceeds into the cyton, then again in the axon, then after it goes into the axon ending, and then again it goes into the next axon. So likewise the impulse travel from dendrites to the axon ending, then again from the dendrites to the axon ending. So this is the one way path of movement of impulses in the neuron. Now the place where two neurons meet, that place is called synapse. You can see the magnified picture of synapse here. This is the synaptic knob of an axon ending, and this is the dendrite. So when the electrical impulse reaches in the axon ending, then it stimulates the vesicles which are present in the synaptic knob, and that vesicles contain a particular type of, very special type of chemicals which are called neurotransmitter. So when the electrical impulse reaches up to the synaptic knob, then it stimulates the synaptic vesicles. Then because of that stimulation, the synaptic vesicles release the neurotransmitter, like this you can see in the synaptic cleft, and these neurotransmitters are received by the receptors present in the ending of the dendrites of another neuron, and as these neurotransmitter reaches into the dendrites, it again trigger same kind of electrical impulse, and then that electrical impulse goes into the next neuron, and hence and likewise it passes on to the next neuron. So in the axon, the impulse travel in the form of the messages, the information travels in the form of electrical impulse, and as it comes into the synapse, then the message travel in the form of chemical that is called neurotransmitter. So the information that conduct into the neuron, that is in the form of electrochemical impulses. Now one thing is important to know, that the neurotransmitters are always present in the axon ending. It is not present in the dendrites. So the pathway of the conduction of nerve impulse is always one way, from axon to the dendrites. Now we will talk about the types of neurons. On the basis of the functions, neurons are of two types. The first one is sensory neurons. It carries impulses from sensory organs to the central nervous system, that is brain and the spinal cord. And the second type of neurons are called motor neurons. It carries the impulses from the brain and the spinal cord to the effector organ. So to carry the messages from sensory organs to the brain, there is a separate pathway, and to carry the messages from brain to the effector organs, there are the separate pathway. So both the pathways of conduction of messages are separated. So the sensory neurons are the neurons which carry the impulse information from the receptors from the sensory organs to the brain and spinal cord, and whatever the commands that are given by the brain, that are conducted by the another set of neurons which are called motor neurons. Both the type of neurons never interchange their work and function. The sensory neurons are always responsible to carry the impulses from sense organs to the brain, and the motor neurons are the neurons, they always carry the command from brain to the effector organs. So this is all for this video. In the next video we'll talk about the parts of our nervous system. Till then, thank you, have a nice day.